everybody. Coming to you live from Valencia, California, just north of Los Angeles. This is our second in person. We had Steve-O the last time, several episodes ago. This is episode number 72, October the 10th, 2025, coming to you live from beautiful, sunny California. Actually, beautiful house here, which belongs to Casey. And just to tell you a little bit about my week, my wife and I, my wife's actually here too. Tina, poke your head in over here and just let everybody see you. So basically, earlier this week, I was speaking in Palm. There's Tina.
Hi.
All right. Thank you. That might be your debut. I don't know. So anyway, I was speaking in Palm Springs, which is awesome. And I was speaking to the California Crime Prevention Officers Association. It was my third time to speak here in California. And I'm really excited because they want me back. So I'll be speaking next year in Lake Tahoe. And that place is epic too. So, but it's been good. And what I've been doing in the meantime is I've been running my wife around, and we've been checking out a lot of places where I used to live. And then, of course, she didn't want to go today. So then I was checking out iconic murder scenes because that's what I do. I know that's not normal, but I was checking out Spawn Ranch today, believe it or not. And I was walking around in there, and thank heavens I didn't run into anybody else that's some crazy or something. But it was just me out there. And I didn't run into any rattlesnakes and things along that line. And then I went from there and I went over and I did a quick little video of the Wonderland murder house or location. And so check those out. I'm gonna look for them. If you haven't seen them, I know I've put a couple of videos out on my Detective Jason White page, and I'm gonna put a couple of videos out here on this YouTube page. Thank you all for being here. I had a pre-record set up for tonight, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to do this. And I talked to Casey about it, and I was like, hey, let's just do it live at your place. And he's like, that's the way we need to do this. So that's what we're going to do. Let me just kind of give you a brief rundown as to who he is. Basically, this is episode number 72. He wrote a book about his experience, and he shares his story of survival about being thrown overboard and then ran over by his boat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, we're going to show some photos here in a little bit that are the real deal. I mean, he doesn't have any issues with showing you. I'm just forewarning you that it's going to show some of the injuries and so forth, and they're graphic, but he wants to show them, and I think we should show them. I think it's a fascinating story, and it really brings it home. He was critically injured and left adrift in low treaded water without a life preserver in the Pacific Ocean. He hit a whale, ladies and gentlemen, and that knocked him out of this boat several miles into the Pacific Ocean, where let me tell you, the water of the Pacific, it's cold, really cold. That's why we probably won't ever be getting in it this week. But anyway, Casey managed to survive his injuries, and he struggled to heal not only physically but mentally. And he's going to tell it all. He doesn't have anything that he's keeping back. The healing process forced Casey to face his demons from nearly 25 years in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Special Weapons Team. These guys are, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a little bit different than SWAT. No, you're SWAT. You're SWAT. He's SWAT, but he's also the guy that's jumping out of helicopters and rescuing people, both in the ocean and in the mountains and wherever. So basically he does that. And at the urging of his family, and his wife's here too, by the way, at the urging of his family and closest friends, Casey turned his personal journey into this book, which happens to be right here, and offering an intimate glimpse into the journey to regain his life and his participation in several significant law enforcement incidents, many of which you will recognize from the national news coverage. He hopes that his story will help others going through difficult times, as well as show what the members of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department go through daily. He's our second LA County Sheriff's deputy to be on here. The other one was Gil Carrillo, and he's an all-star as well. But this guy here, I'm telling you, he's not wearing a cape right now, but he should be, because he's a badass is what he is. Let's just be real. Okay, welcome, Casey.
Thanks for having me.
It's good. We're friends now for life. He's a good dude. And so tell us, Casey, first of all, what made you interested? You're from here, or you're from California, and what made you interested in law enforcement to begin with?
So my entry into law enforcement was kind of not by accident, but I played baseball in college. I was drafted, played for the Atlanta Braves for a little bit. They had a guy named Chipper Jones, went on to the Hall of Fame, and it was time for me to get a real job. So my dad was a lineman for LA Water and Power, and I had an uncle who was a sheriff's deputy. So took the test with both, and the sheriff's department got called first. So once I got a real job, I knew a lot about the department just because I had family here. Mm-hmm. I had an uncle who was at SEB, Special Enforcement Bureau is what it's called. And he was actually on the arrest for Charles Manson at the Spawn Ranch. So,
which is cool for me. I mean, that's cool. So once I got hired, I knew all I wanted to do is go to SEB. Didn't really know a lot about the medic side. I knew we had Air 5. I knew we had our own organic law enforcement paramedics. I just wanted to go to the SWAT side of the house. So I stacked my whole career just to try to get to that unit. And I read in the book, and you detail a lot of this. So, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, if you want to get a book that's really a good book to read, this is it. I'm telling you, it's an easy read. And you talk about how once you get on the sheriff's department, you were interested in this unit, mm-hmm. and he didn't just sit back and think he was going to get it. I'm sure that how many people are on the department?
Supposed to have almost 10,000, but I think we're very seriously understaffed. I think we're down to like 7,800. Sworn. Just
oh my gosh, that's huge.
Yeah.
All right. So in comparison to LAPD, what's
they're roughly the same size.
Okay.
Roughly, give or take, and they're constantly fluctuating, but we're about the same size department.
Okay. And is it harder to get on the sheriff's, or what do you, if you know?
No, I think they're about the same for either one.
Okay. And I know that they're actually, I think our SWAT team was kind of designed after yours. From back in the day. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, so you have a lot of sworn people. So how many people are we looking at roughly to apply for a unit like that?
I think tough. When I took the test, I think something like 250 people took the test. And we ended up taking, I think, 5 or 6 total over the course of the list. 5 or 6 out of 200 plus. That's insane. And so for you, I remember reading here, your preparation for that was you were going to be the number one guy. That's what you were shooting for, right? I think everybody who comes to a unit wants to be a unit like this. I mean, it's a very competitive unit. So tell us about, all right, so your journey, just being on the streets. Let's talk a little bit about, you get on the sheriff's office. Mm-hmm. You end up getting through the academy. What did you do before that? Did you work other than playing baseball? Did you work? I did an internship with the U.S. Marshal Service when I was getting my degree. Okay. That was about it. And then, so you graduate the academy and you go to, your first assignment's going to be custody. You're going to work the jails. So after you work the jails, then you get to go to patrol. And that's when your career really starts. You can't test for any other units. You can't do anything. You got to go to patrol. And then back then, it's not the same testing process they have now. But they actually monitored the guys. They would do a full background on everybody. They just kind of kept tabs and wanted to make sure the right people were coming to the unit. Yeah. What is now? So you work the streets. How long were you out on the streets before? Over 5 years. And in that, what part of the city did you work? I worked the station. It was called Lenox. It doesn't exist anymore. They built a new station and renamed it. Now it's South LA. It's basically northwest of Compton and west of Watts. Yeah, not the crown jewels of the city, probably. No. It's like where 107th and Hoover come together, right? Just west of that, yep. So it does exist, Tina. I told you it existed. I wasn't making that up. So, but anyway, so the roughest part of the city, I would say, arguably. It's in the middle of it, yeah. It's a couple square miles, and back then I think we were doing 70 murders plus a year. Oh. So this is like the part of it where Colors, when they're on Colors doing the impact unit or whatever they were doing. So, oh man, that would have been something to see. So you got a ton of experience doing that. And then when you have this opportunity, did you work any other specialty units, or were this? I worked some violent crime suppression teams, but they were just part of the station. And then I was a training officer at my station. Okay. I'd never had a desire to do what you do and being an investigator. Wasn't really what I wanted to do. I didn't enjoy talking to the criminals as much as some in that lane. I wanted more of the operational side. Okay. And I stacked my career and I was lucky enough to get it. Yeah. And so you get on that specific unit. I'm sure you had some really tense moments working the streets in South LA. Oh yeah. Probably every night. More than a few. Yeah. Yeah. And so when you were working out there, and interestingly enough, you know Frank Salerno Jr. Yep. Is it Frank? I can't remember. Yeah. So, and just to let people know that's listening here, Frank Salerno Sr. Was the lead detective in the Hillside Stranglers case, and he was the kind of a co-lead. I guess you call him co-lead.
him and Gil were partners, but he also was one of the main detectives in the Night Stalker case as well. So Frank is a true legend. Actually, I think Frank is almost, well, yeah, both of them are. I think Frank is almost to the level that I don't know that I could ever get Frank to agree to come here, but he's one of those guys that amazing. So you go from there, you're working the streets, you get this opportunity to do this, and you get it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tell me about what that was like when you first started out in this unit.
You accomplished what I wanted. I got my dream. So you show up, you'll go to SWAT school, and then once you're SWAT qualified and you get sent to your team, you're not allowed to make entry with your team. It takes about a year to actually start making entries with your team. So we have 6 full-time teams. One's always on duty, one's always on call. And your first year, you go to every single call out. And back then we were doing 250, 300 call outs a year.
It's amazing.
So
it really is a lot.
We don't take reports. We don't answer calls. You're either training or you're working high-risk warrant, barricaded suspect, hostage rescue, or dignitary protection. That's kind of the bread and butter of the SWAT side of the house. And they do. We broke 300 several times back when I was on the SWAT side.
How many teams do they have?
6 full-time teams.
Okay, 6 full-time teams, and so you probably just have a giant calendar up on the wall.
Yep.
And
big whiteboard with magnets and guys' names constantly moving, so you can take one look at it and you can know what team has the duty, who's going to be the breachers, because we have explosive breaching capabilities, who's going to be the snipers, the long rifles as we call it, who's going to be containment, who's going to be driving armor. It's all on a board with magnets, and it's constantly in flux.
Okay. And at that point in time, were you a paramedic?
No. I knew we had them, and I didn't really have any desire to learn about it. I just knew we had them. I was so focused on trying to be very good at the SWAT side. And then some of my mentors and partners that were senior on my team started transitioning into the medic side of the house.
Okay.
And after I'd been on the SWAT side for a bunch of years, they came to me and said, hey, the door's open. It's yours if you want it. And they really started breaking down what the medic role is. I would say most people in the unit, and for sure most people in the department, including the executives, have no idea what it is that we do. They just know it happens. Yeah. Even on the SWAT side, I truly didn't appreciate what the guys at Emergency Services Detail, that's the medic side. So there's 5 details within Special Enforcement Bureau. You have the Special Weapons Team, which is Special Enforcement Detail, Canine Services Detail, Arson Explosives Detail, Hazmat Detail, and then Emergency Services. And that's the medics. So the medic side of the house, you're going to get pulled off your SWAT team. You'll go to LA County Fire Paramedic School for 6 to 7 months. When you're done with that, you'll go to mountaineering school for 2 months, roughly. If you haven't been to dive school, I'd already been to dive school on the SWAT side because we do have divers on the SWAT side. That's another 2 months. The entire training pipeline is about 2 years.
Wow.
That's from already being a seasoned SWAT deputy to the medic side.
Yeah.
So it's a long time.
And do you have to have special training to dive in the ocean?
Yeah. So we do everything. So your first dive school you're going to go to is going to be public safety dive. And then you'll go to mixed gas where you're diving nitrox and some of the other mixes. Some of us have been to surface applied where you're wearing a Kirby Morgan hard hat helmet. We don't use them as much. Rebreathers have kind of taken over. And then, so once you go to mixed gas now, nobody really goes to surface applied anymore. You'll go to rebreather and then mixed gas rebreather where you're diving very deep for a long time. So those guys are getting into deco, significant times of deco. They're going well past 300 feet.
Oh my God.
So
can you do that?
I gave up my rebreather after the accident. So
okay.
There's a limited number of them. And having been off it because I wasn't allowed in the water because of my injuries.
Yeah.
I gave mine up. I used to have one. And I'm good just being back on open circuit. At this stage of my career, I don't have a whole lot longer left. I'm kind of in the. I
have to correct something. He's not the second LA County Sheriff's Officer on here. He's the third. Do you know Ed Nordskog?
I know Ed. Ed was at Arson Explosives.
Ed's a fire legend, world known.
He's wrote a couple books.
He's wrote like 6 or 7 of them. Yeah, he's big time too. So you're on there. How was your progression? Did you feel like you were? I mean, that's a lot of training.
Yeah,
it's not easy. Paramedic school is not easy.
Paramedic school is brutal. It's the hardest thing I've done on the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
Mentally, it's physically you're just going to classroom every day, but it's a grind.
Yeah, because everything's an emergency.
Yeah,
that you're dealing with. So
it's basically a nursing degree in 6 to 7 months.
That's how quick you're able to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, okay. I was a basic EMT, so that's nothing compared to what you were doing. So that's like primary and secondary assessment, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So anyway, you're there. You're doing this. How many years? I mean, I'm sure you've had some amazing. I already know one of them that I do want to talk about briefly, if you don't mind getting into it. We'll get into it before we get into the boat thing. Let's talk about Emily.
Okay.
I read about this in the book, and when I read about this situation, this event, it just really affected me, honestly. And I think it's a powerful story. So let's just tell us what happened on this particular situation.
It was September 27th, 2015. I graduated paramedic school earlier that year, in I think March, April. Anyways, we get a call. It's up in the high country. So most people don't understand LA County is massive. It's thousands of square miles.
Yeah, how big is it?
I've heard it's like 4,000 square miles. It's huge.
Bigger than states.
Bigger than a lot of states. We also have 700 square miles of Pacific because of the islands, Catalina, San Clemente Island, those islands. And then we go all the way over to the top of Mount Baldy, which is over 10,000 feet. Okay. So then we have a lot of the Mojave Desert to the north, which is very rural. And then we have obviously the LA Basin, where is the major metro portion of it.
Well, let me stop you real quick, just because this is something that's interesting. So you said 2 islands, Catalina and what else?
San Clemente. And San Clemente is a Navy base. So it's not open to the public, but people do go dive in the waters offshore.
Okay. And so what I'm getting at is like Catalina, for instance, do they have deputies that's their beat?
Yep. There's deputies that are assigned to Catalina. They live on the island.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have to. They can commute if they want.
But, but that would be a real pain.
Yeah, but they do provide housing for them.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's kind of an interesting assignment. I'm sure that it's pretty coveted and that people want it.
Yeah, I mean, guys that work it love it.
Okay. All right. So you're working. So let's go back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off track here, but so go ahead.
So we get a call up in the high country, vehicle over the side of Angeles Crest Highway. We come overhead and you can see it's a red Dodge Ram about 100 feet off a cliff. And when it went off the cliff, it came into some ponderosa pines, which are the really big pine trees. And it basically crushed the cab on the passenger side down. So the truck's on its right side, on the passenger side wheels, leaning into the tree. We get there, we kind of scamper down. It's up there. There's a lot of like the decomposed granite, like the shale. So me and my partner, Jim, at the time, we kind of scamper down to this truck, and it's secure. It's not real unstable against the trees, but on the other side of the trees, it goes vertical to the canyon floor a couple hundred feet below. So we check the truck. It's fairly stable. Climb up on top, and inside was Emily. She was a 12-year-old girl. She's laying in the back bench seat of the Dodge Ram, and her feet are dangling in the downhill side window, the passenger side window, and her head is just about the opening of the broken window on the driver's side.
Where are the other occupants?
So they were up on the street. I didn't know who they were. I didn't really concern myself with it. We just heard that there was somebody in the car. So,
but
the focus is down. It was her mom and dad and another girl up on the road that we bypassed.
How did they not end up in the truck with her?
They had self-extricated. They didn't get trapped. She did.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
So mom was driving, dad was in the passenger seat, I believe, and then her friend was in the back with her, and somehow she comes lodged into this position where the truck is pinning. She's between the headliner and the back seat, and the truck is leaning into the tree, if you can picture that. Get inside the vehicle, and she can't budge. And we're still trying to do our assessment while we're trying to free her, and knew her name. She was with it. I'm Emily. I'm 12 years old. I live in Palmdale. She was with it. She's like, I can't breathe because the truck is leaning into the tree. So start cutting out, seat cushions, trying to free her up, and nothing's really working. So Jim and I, and by this point there was our ground-based search and rescue volunteers on scene. They're all everybody's tying off the truck, trying to keep it stable, and more ground resources are en route. We know they are. You could hear it on the radio. And then we talked to our crew chief that day was Tucker Giandomenico, and Tucker was asked them what we need. And we said, hey, we need our extrication tools. We call them Roco tools. That's the company we get them from. There are many jaws of life that are manual that we can cut and do stuff with, and some technical rescue stuff. It's in a pack, but we didn't have it on us because of weight. And then helicopters don't operate at altitude real well in heat. So we stripped the aircraft in the summer. We carried minimal gear, and it's just kind of mission specific, especially for the high altitude stuff, which is kind of up where we were. And so sent him back, and Jim and I are working on her, trying to get her out, get some basic monitoring stuff like a pulse ox and things like that. But inside the car, she's facing the headliner, and I could see the fingers on her hand, but I couldn't see her hand because the way the truck was kind of crushing it. She could move her left arm fine. And then her feet were dangling out the other window. And we're crawling around in there trying to get her out. She's complaining she can't breathe. And then as we're working on her and more people are showing up, Tucker comes back with the rescue tools. We start trying to cut the seat rails. We're trying to do everything. And now she's starting to get more altered. And like, we know we're on the clock. Like she's going anoxic. She's not getting enough oxygen to her brain. So we're really trying to get her out. It's just not going. And now she's like clawing at the tree. There's bark coming in the car. And Jim, we had switched positions several times, but I remember being in the car and Jim's like, hey, she's desat. I'm not getting a pulse ox stat. I'm not getting a pulse reading. We'd had a BP cuff on her free arm for a little bit. So nothing's reading anymore. So I'm checking her pulse. There's no brachial pulse. There's no radial pulse. I'm not feeling anything in her left arm. She's altered. She's begging for her life. So Jim's like, hey, what do you think about, let's get we have a ground-based rescue truck that the ground-based search and rescue guys use. It's got a big steel cable that they go real far off cliffs, 600-700 feet off cliff on a steel cable. He goes, what do you think about pulling it a little bit just to get some working room? And we're having this conversation, and she's completely getting altered. And there's a rule in the rescue schools we go to that you don't make a stable object unstable. So he's talking to some of the fire guys outside, and he's like, hey, if she crashes and we lose her, we'll pull the truck then. So we have some airway adjuncts in, and Jim's trying to bag her to force air in, but he's not getting a lot of compliance. And then I remember him saying, hey, I don't have a carotid. Can you check? And I went, yeah. I didn't feel anything. So kicked everybody out of the truck, because there were other people were trying to climb in, like rescuers. Everybody's trying to help. Yeah. I told Jim, hey, I'll clear everything and the bottom of the truck because we want to make sure nobody was underneath. I was the last one out. Jim's still trying to bag her. Tapped him on him. Hey, you're the last man. I'm going to clear the bottom of the truck. I'll let you know when it's clear. So I climbed down off the high side of the truck, come down underneath. Nobody's around it. And I remember one of the fire guys going, hey, you guys tried your best. Good job, but you can't pull it. And it like set me into a rage. I'm like, no, we're not losing her. So at this point, she's dead. Like, there's no risk. We're not. All right,
you're not making it worse.
I'm making her more dead. So, and Jim and I had agreed, and so Jim jumped off. I was standing right back at the back tailgate, and he hops down. He calls the pull. The truck moved maybe an inch, and she fell right out the low side window, right at the base of the tree. Dove under the car.
How far down is that? Probably.
She fell maybe a foot. It was.
Oh, you mean
like she fell out the window to the base of the tree,
okay,
like right below. She just came out of the car.
Okay, I got you.
Kind of pulled her out a little bit. She's like kind of standing up underneath this car.
Yeah,
like it's like a lean-to against this big ponderosa pine. Drag her out. The search and rescue guys had done a great job, all of them, through all these different roles. Get her into a Stokes litter. They'd already pre-rigged it, and now we're just trying to run as hard as we can up this hill and shale, like slide, driving her up to the street, get her up to the street. remember, like, this is why we train so hard. How hard we were trying to push this, like, blocking sled in football. Like, everything's burning. You're at altitude. Your lungs are burning. Legs are burning. Just get her up to the road. Tucker's waiting at the top. He's got all of our rescue gear laid out. Like, he's got our cardiac defibrillator. Meds are laid out. Everything's ready. We're going to start running this code. Put a couple IOs in her. Jim's getting her hooked up to the
IOs.
Interosseous. So if you go to the hospital, they give you an IV, intravenous. So instead of having to find a vein and give injections that way, I can just drill into a long bone. We have certain bones that we use. And
that's not normal paramedic work. So
it gave her an IO to each tibia.
And I think
into the bone marrow.
I think there was somebody telling you can't do that.
Yeah, not one of the forestry guys said you can't do that. I'm like, get out of my way.
Yeah, that's a polite way of saying what he would probably really said.
I don't think I said it that politely.
I doubt it.
So, yeah, Jim's got her hooked up to the defibrillator. She's in VFib. We give her a shock from the defibrillator. I already got the lines hooked up. We're flowing our fluids into her bone marrow. That's how, because there's so much venous flow to the bone marrow. Gave her a round of epi. We're working this whole code. And
which VFib that's good. That's a good sign. It's the heart fluttering.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So at least you're on the right path.
Yeah. So when we got to the road, Tucker yelled, "Hey, I'm going to go start the aircraft." And he was probably a couple hundred yards down the road in a turnout where he parked this flying school bus that we fly in.
Yes, show the picture of that. You mean the helicopter?
The helicopter.
Show the helicopter shot, Amanda. That's what he's talking about. That thing's huge.
That's actually me sitting in the door.
That's cool. That's a really cool looking air.
So it's a Super Puma, an AS332 from Eurocopter or Airbus now. So we run a whole code. We hear the motor start up. Tucker gets on the radio. We're ready on you. We already had a truck ready. We're still working the code. We get her in the back of the ambulance. We grabbed one of the ground-based guys, Mike, with us. Hey, dude, you're coming. We need you for this code. We're already doing CPR. Started immediately as soon as we got up on the top.
Yeah,
Jim and I are kind of delegating. So it was like, hey, Mike, you got compressions. We're just trying to manage the chaos as best we can. And then we take Mike with us. We get in the aircraft, give her another shock. We're pushing more epi. We're doing everything we can. I mean, we're throwing the kitchen sink trying to save this girl because, 2 minutes ago she was talking to me.
Yeah.
It's just,
absolutely.
Yeah. So, in the aircraft, pilots are hauling ass. We're going to Huntington Memorial, full code. Everything. There's everything is wrapped in medicine. Everything comes sterile. There's wrappers going everywhere. We're just pushing everything we can, running the whole code. We defib her again in flight. We gave her 2 needle thoracotomies, trying to decompress her lungs, thinking maybe she had collapsed. She was having a tension pneumo. Didn't know what her injuries were. We're just running it. Get to the pad. The trauma team's waiting. Rush downstairs into the OR. Oh, not the OR. Sorry, the ER. And respiratory therapist is trying to work on her. The doctors were telling him what happened. This is all what's going on. And the doctor's like, how long was she down before CPR started? I went, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds. Minute tops, no more than a minute. Because as soon as we lost the carotid, we cleared the car, pulled it. We're driving her up, like running up to the road. Minute tops, no more. But my guess would be 30 to 45 seconds. And he's like, no, not from the time you guys got the call. How long? I'm like, dude, listen to me. She died right next to me, or she crashed right next to me and Jim. She stopped. We lost the carotid. We're up at the road. No, how long until you? I'm like, dude, you're not getting it. I'm like, dude, motherfucker, listen to me. So as we're he's not wrapping his head around what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The respiratory therapist said, hey, we got Ross. We got return of spontaneous.
Yeah.
Like, her heart's now running. Like, we're like, oh my God. Everybody goes piling out in the hallway. Dude, we just want it. Yeah.
So,
dude,
that's exactly what you trained to do.
The biggest high. Oh my God. She's like, so we hung out.
Yeah.
She's still very critical, but she's got a heartbeat. She's on a ventilator, but she's got a heartbeat. Like, this is insane. This is the best Best day ever. So it's now nighttime because it was late in the afternoon. So we get up to the helipad and fly back to SEB. We're getting all our stuff off so the aircraft can go back into maintenance. And we're like, dude, this is a home run. Best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
So then we wake up the next morning and they're like, hey, they're calling for you at Huntington. You guys got to get a hold of this neurologist. We're like, well, the aircraft's picking us up in about 10 minutes. We'll just fly over and land on the pad and go talk to him. And pick us up. I was back on the duty crew the next day, so we fly up. A couple of the group guys who were on the ground, they drove. And so go down, she's in the ICU, and we walk in, and we can see a doctor talking to the people that I saw on the road, which turns out to be the mom and dad. And mom just missed a turn, had an accident. Nobody to blame, solo car accident, just shit happened.
Yeah.
They're talking, we can see her, she's on a ventilator and on life support. So we kind of walked over and we're kind of hanging out by her bed. And then the door flew open and mom comes out crying hysterically. And they kind of go down the hall and we get motioned by the doc. Hey, you need to, your turn, come here. So we walk in and he goes, tell me from start to finish what happened. I need to understand what's going on because it's not making sense to me. So we tell him this entire story over again. And he's like, okay, well, she's got an anoxic brain injury. She's not going to live. She's brain dead. And that's when the parents had come out. And we're like, oh.
And what in layman's terms, without oxygen.
Yeah, without anoxic her brain wasn't getting enough oxygen. She physically couldn't get her lungs to move because of the weight of the truck crushing her into the tree.
Yeah. So
as she basically just desatted, she just very slowly died.
And then the other.
So while we're in talking to the doc, come to find out, one of the nurses told us later when we got out of the meeting, the mom went into a bathroom and hung herself. Didn't kill herself, but tried to. So, I mean, I can only think what the dad was thinking. Like,
yeah,
do I go to the ER with my wife, or I stay here with my daughter on life support?
Oh my gosh, yeah, horrific.
It's
horrific. And when I read that in his book, I'm going to say, and I told Casey this before we went on the air here, it brought tears to my eyes. I have to be careful. I have to be careful too, Casey, because I'm a really sensitive person too. So, very moving. Very moving.
That one sucked. That was the first time that I'd ever experienced. There wasn't something to direct it at. There wasn't a gangster who did the drive-by.
Right.
There wasn't. There was no evil that I could go direct my attention in, and like I don't know. It was just an accident.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
It was just a straight up accident. And I don't know. And it bothered me for a long time. Didn't talk about it. So now we're like, dude, why didn't we pull the truck earlier? Well, talked to Jim a couple times and, we talked quite a bit about it, but should we have done this? Could we have done that better? What could we have done to prevent this? Mm-hmm. And basically, there's nothing we could have done.
No, it doesn't sound good.
But it still doesn't sit well with you.
No.
So then we still got a mission to do. We had to go work. So you just keep locking this stuff down.
Yeah.
And then, that day turns into a week. The week turns into a month. You're getting more calls. Things are just kind of snowballing on you. And
to tell you the truth, I mean, and I don't know because I've never experienced anything specific to that. But I bet you almost welcomed that next call.
Oh yeah,
just a new.
I just let me do my job. Let me work.
Yeah.
If we're not working, let me get in the gym. Let me get a workout in. Let me do something.
Yeah.
And I never. It was just what we do. Nobody. It just went by the wayside.
Yeah.
So I didn't. It just lock it down, keep pushing, and it came back to bite me after the accident. Because I wouldn't talk to Les. I wouldn't talk to anybody. It's just lock it down and keep on going. It's weird. Like I don't.
And it's not just that deal. You've got other situations that are happening.
But for whatever reason, the crazy SWAT stuff, the crazy patrol stuff, it didn't eat at me like this one.
Yeah.
This one, I couldn't I didn't know how to process it. So it was just lock it down, get your mind right, get back to work.
Right.
I don't know how else to say it. And then once I got hurt and I had nowhere to go, it was just kind of, yeah, you're always thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And I was never talking about it, but it was a daily thing. Like, dude, try to learn what you can from it. But yeah, it just, I don't.
So you're starting to mm-hmm. have issues with that from that point forward. Now we're getting further on, and then let's talk about the boat situation, okay. Because this is like if you still have this stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And then this comes in.
But like you said, I was still healthy like after the accident. After Emily.
Right.
So it was easy just to push it down and keep going. You're in a routine. I go to work, I do my thing, I don't talk about it, I come home, I have my life at home, the kids, mm-hmm. my wife, and they're busy in sports. We're going all over the place. We're doing all these different things. So I don't have time to really dwell on it. And then it wasn't until I didn't have my job and my lifestyle that it came back to bite me.
Which that's what we're going to talk a little bit about when he's saying he didn't have his job. This event, mm-hmm. You're lucky to be alive.
Yeah. So
it's insane.
I just saw the picture of the boat pop up. That was
go back to that boat picture, Amanda. That one you just put. Yeah, there you go. So that's the boat.
That's what I was driving.
It's got 2 engines on the back of it.
Yep. Now they have twin 450 Mercury Racing outboards.
Okay.
It's a 10-meter rib, so 33 feet, very low profile. We use it for interdiction type stuff out in the Pacific. It'll go fast with a full team. So a full team being, fully staffed, it would be 8 deputies or 7 deputies and a sergeant for mm-hmm. a total of 8 plus 2 medics and a coxswain and a driver and a navigator.
Okay.
So
what's a coxswain?
Navigator, driver.
Okay.
That's
all right. Yeah. I mean, just my ignorance.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's just you have a driver and a navigator. It's the easiest way.
All right.
Well, let's back up to the Friday before because it'll come into play. Mm-hmm. It'll give you a giggle. So I had been on a State Department contract in the Middle East for a couple months leading up to the accident. Basically took vacation time for the Sheriff's Department to do a federal contract. Okay. And I've been in Amman for, I don't know, how long was it, 2 months? So get back into the States. I landed at LAX on Friday, called Les. I'm like, hey, I'm back. She's like, I'm at work. Kids are in school. Like, I don't know what time it is. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go back to SCB. I'll drop some stuff off and then I'll meet you at home. She's like, good. Okay. Yeah. See you at home.
Are you okay with being seen on this real quick? Come on over here. Well, we'll introduce you to his wife because she's sitting here and she's there you go. There you go. All right. Is that your first podcast?
It is.
Yes. All right. All right. So I wanted her to at least be introduced to everybody. So good. All right. I'm sorry.
No,
she deserves to be on here too. Oh. All right. So
I'm in my locker. I'm putting stuff away. We have, big lockers for all our gear and stuff. I'm dealing with it. And I hear the aircraft land. So I look at the calendar. I'm like, oh shit, it's my team.
Oh, no.
So I go running out to the pad and the aircraft's landed and there's, Jim and Tucker and Steve and all my friends. And fourth body gets out. When we have doctors that are attached to our unit, they fly. I had never really taken the time to get invested with them. They're nice people, don't get me wrong, but I never got invested with them. Mm-hmm. And I was new on the department. I was only 2 years in as a medic.
Yeah.
I've been a SWAT for a while, but so Dr. Kwong gets off the aircraft. I'm like, hey, Doc, how are you? Get out of the way. You're in my way. I said hi to him. I was being nice, but kind of pushing them off to the side so I can see my friends and talk to them for a minute. And they're like, hey, yeah, enjoy the weekend. I knew the dive seminar is the end of dive school, and the dive seminar is 3 days. We come home on the 4th usually. It's for any special operations or law enforcement dive team. And we debrief things that have happened over the course of the previous year. And then we put people through very technical dive scenarios as part of this course. Jim's like, hey, dude, enjoy the weekend with family. See you Monday morning bright and early, because we were going to leave to go to the island. We were going to push off, I think, at like 4:30 a.m. So we were meeting at 4:30, pushing off at 5:30, something like that. But anyways, so say goodbye, go home, and enjoy the weekend. And Sunday night, the phone starts exploding, and it's, hey, you live north. There's a massive shooting going on in Vegas right now. Is the country concert, the Root shooting that was going on, and they're like, hey, we don't know if this is a big terrorist attack or not. Just start going, because it's bad. And everything I've heard and seen, Vegas did a phenomenal job handling that, and we got spun around pretty quick.
Well, wait a second. They were going to send you to Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they were like, hey, go.
Right
this
on.
is a big one. Start going. Yeah. They were talking about flying guys up, and some of our – they were – it never got to that point.
Right.
They were like, hey,
right. But that's good that they would do that. That's good.
So we kind of got spun around. Nothing ever really – now I'm up, and I'm not going to come back and wake her up. I got to be down at the boats here in a little bit. So I start going down to the boats, load all my stuff up, and go out to the island. And it was the talk, because we all knew people there. We knew guys. Some of the guys I was there with, sons and daughters were there. Guys everybody knew somebody there. In fact, we knew a couple of guys. Andy got wounded there. We're trying to help coordinate getting them back to get treatment, and we're talking. It's just kind of, but still trying to run this dive scenario. So it's been a stressful couple of days, and we go into town to get dinner, and we're sitting in a bar having a drink, and I'm laughing with he's technically my uncle Kevin, and my mom's 20 years older than her youngest sister. So my aunt marries a friend of mine. That makes him Uncle Kevin. So
okay.
Yeah. So things you can't make up.
Yeah.
So
different uncle from the one that went to the Manson arrest, right?
It was his dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was Kevin's dad. So we're laughing, and guys are goofing off, and Shane comes up and is like, hey, I just got a phone call. I had a murder trial that I missed today, and the judge was not happy about it. So he gets off the phone, and the district attorney's like, you got to be here tomorrow. And otherwise the judge is going to lose his mind. You might get a body attachment and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll run you back first light. So start checking the sea state, and yeah, dude, we're all good. Looks good.
And before that, you guys were.
We've been staying on the island,
and you'd been debriefing over the Vegas deal.
Oh yeah, everybody's talking about it. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
it go from laughing and joking to serious talks, and that laughing and joking, and guys acting like clowns, and then
right.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah, Kevin's like, hey, he has an off-road car, and he's like, he was going on some big run. And he's like, hey, if you're taking Shane back, I'm going too. Yeah, no problem. So Kevin and I are at the dock. Shane sleeps in, he shows up late, little things. So we end up getting everybody in, and because we were running a little bit behind, we hauled ass back. Like, we were pushing it. But it was a sheet of glass. Perfect morning. And we're laughing and giggling, telling jokes, and it's kind of like, you can't believe we get paid to do this. We're driving a boat in a beautiful, Catalina Island to the mainland. It's just beautiful. Drop them off. Shane obviously hustles out, and then sat there and talked to Kevin for a minute and helped him with his stuff, and gave him a hug, said goodbye, and let's go. Called Jim. I'm like, hey, I'm filling this thing up with fuel and on my way back. He's like, it's all good. Don't worry about it. We'll see you when you get here. So stopped, got a cup of coffee. They have a coffee pot where at the little fuel place, and bummed a cup of coffee from the guys, and it's like, yeah, no worries. So then off we went, and I was just drinking a cup of coffee going mid-channel. And I was probably 20 miles out, probably 6 to 8 from the island, would be my guess. And
20 miles out into the ocean.
Yeah.
At depths of what, possibly?
3,500 feet.
3,500?
Yeah, it's deep.
Okay.
In the mid-channel, it's the abyss.
Okay.
They run nuclear submarines out of San Diego through it.
Okay. Wow. All right, so you're hauling ass probably.
No, I was cruising.
You were just cruising?
I was probably doing 20, 25.
Oh,
drinking a cup of coffee.
Just chill. Yeah, enjoying yourself.
Yeah, there's no rush. And then the bow came up a liting bit, and the whole thing came crashing to a halt, and I hit the center console, and the boat pitched, and I went overboard. And It turned out to, you already said it was a whale. It turns out it was like a 60-foot fin whale because it showed up with prop marks all over it, dead a couple weeks later. I don't know for sure it's mine, but I'm claiming it.
Yeah.
So, because, I'll get to that. But hit the water. All I was wearing, because we were diving. So I was wearing flip-flops, board shorts, and a t-shirt and a fleece because it was early October. It was October 4th. So 6 days ago was the 8-year anniversary. Yeah. Hit the water. The little Mustang inflatable, looks like a Mae West type, inflatable life jacket shot me to the surface, and now I'm holding a crushed cup of coffee, and I still
the little things you remember.
Yeah. And then I don't know. Do you have the picture of the boat doing the circle?
Yeah, throw that one up. Yep, there.
Yep. So you can see.
Take that. There you go. Thank you.
So that's my boat at full power. The Coast Guard took that picture later, and I'm actually in the background getting hoisted into Air 5 in the background, which is our rescue helicopter, the big one you showed earlier. So when I hit the center console, I knocked the throttles all the way forward, broke the kill switch, got hucked overboard, and they came right back around on top of me. So I unclipped the life preserver, tried to get below it, and it ran over my feet. I ended up taking 3 prop strikes to my right leg, and 2 to my left. Cut all the toes off my left foot, cut the heel off my left foot. Do you want to show those pictures now? There you go. Well,
warning. Hey, listen, and I asked you this when I first talked to you. I think the first time I talked to you was probably almost a year ago, actually. Yeah. And basically, I said, because I've always heard, hey, the worse your cut, the less it hurts. And I said, so did it hurt? And your answer was,
yeah.
Yeah, it hurt. I bet it did.
It felt like I got hit with a baseball bat. That's the only way I can describe it.
Oh, my gosh.
There's so much kinetic energy in spinning props, come to find out, because I found out the hard way.
Well, hang on a bit. This thing's turning.
Yeah, keep coming back around.
It's turning, and so were you just like, oh my gosh, here it comes?
Try to get
and
below
then you try to go below, right?
Came back up and got out of the way because it came right back around again. It just kept going round and round.
But you'd already been but you get hit on the first time
on
around.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So then, all right. So you're miserable at this point.
I get out of the way and kind of took a real big hard look at what my injuries were. And my right leg was the one that was trying to kill me because it was shooting blood, feet in the air. I cut a couple arteries. The left leg was hammered and bleeding, but not hemorrhaging.
Okay.
Because it was a degloving on kind of both the heel and the toe. But the right leg, those deep all the way through cuts are what was trying to kill me. So I had we have, fleeces. I was wearing a fleece, took it off. It was trying to act like a sponge and hold me down. Got rid of it. I was wearing one of our Under Armour type shirts that you wear under your tactical stuff. Took it off and tried to tie it around my leg to stop the bleeding like you tie your shoes. And it didn't put a dent in it. When I went vertical in the water, I couldn't see past my waist mid-thigh. It was just burgundy red. If I pulled my leg out, it would shoot a couple feet in the air. So I know I'm on the clock. I know I got minutes. The only thing, so in the boat, I had my advanced life support pack with tourniquets. I had my tactical gear with tourniquets. I had my everything. Yeah. My uniform had tourniquets in the pocket. Like it's because my job is to be the medic for the team.
Yeah.
So, and all our gear goes with us everywhere. And I even have my rope bag on there. And the rope bag is what got my brain going. I'm like, dude, even if I had my ropes, I could make a tourniquet out of my rope. And I'm like, hold on. There was a saying years ago in mountain school, webbing is rope. So we'll use tubular nylon webbing the same as you would use rope. You can rappel on it. You can do everything with it. It's actually got more uses, I think, than regular rope. So I'm like, look at the shirt. I'm like, there's no reason my shirt can't be tubular webbing. So I untied my shirt. I kind of tried to lay back on the water using my chest, and I rolled my shirt basically this way, leaving the arms open. And then I laid my foot across, and then I ran the tail through both sleeves with my leg in the middle. So that's my pulley. That's my 2-to-1.
Okay.
So that's the mechanical advantage. So I just started ratcheting this thing down. And that hurt worse than anything because I was saying there's so much kinetic energy in the props. When they hit bones, they explode them, kind of like a bullet does. If you've seen x-rays of people who've been hit and it explodes bones. Yeah. Well, that's what my legs look like, the tibia and fibia. They were just exploded. So as I'm ratcheting this thing down, all those bone shards are grinding against each other.
Yeah.
So I've heard it from a bunch of the military guys. Tourniquets hurt worse than anything else.
Mhm.
They ain't lying. The tourniquet was brutal, but I got the bleeding shut down.
And this is shark-infested waters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're infested, but there's lots of sharks out there.
Oh yeah, we've had them circle us on dives and
like great whites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were at San Clemente Island recovering a body, and we had a 11, 12-foot juvenile circle us. I didn't see it at the time until we reviewed the crime scene footage. We're like, hey, there's a white.
Jeez. Yeah. So you're definitely attracting the
yeah.
fish.
I wasn't really thinking about it at that point.
Sure.
I was still just working the problem.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And
all right.
So now, by the time I got the bleeding shut down, I was probably a couple hundred yards away because the current was ripping. So we had several rescues that summer, and we always found the boats before we found the people.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, it didn't make sense to me before why it's so hard to find somebody. But after these several rescues that we had, you're not looking for a human. You're only looking for their head because they're vertical in the water column. You'll always find the boat. And so it's you're looking for a ball. That's basically all you're looking for. And so I'm like, stay with the boat. That's where they'll find the boat way before they find me.
Yeah.
So I swam back, did that, treaded water, tried to rest because I never saw the life jacket again after I took it off. So I'm assuming it got ran over like I did. I don't know. So I tread water and rest. I get 75, 100 yards away. I swim back. It's just that never-ending conveyor belt. And that's when I started thinking about, what about sharks? And then for whatever reason, my college baseball coach, Mike Batesel, he beat into us, focus on what you can control. That's, if you just focus on what you control, nothing else is gonna matter. Everything else is a distraction. What can you control? And so, okay, well, I can't control, if a shark comes and bites me, I can't control it.
Mm-hmm. Now you're treading.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still using your legs at all?
Trying not to. Okay. I mean, a couple times I kicked a little too hard and it hurt, or trying not to. So yeah, it was just that never-ending conveyor belt. Luckily, I like the water. I mean, grew up in the water. We have boats. I surf. I dive. All that kind of stuff. I was on a swim team when I was a kid.
So you're an exceptional
swimmer. I like to swim.
And you're in tremendous shape anyway.
Yeah, at that point, I was in a little better shape. Yeah. And then the mind games start coming. And I remember seeing there was a buoy ball off a lobster trap that they marketed was adrift. It was probably 400 or 500 yards away. And now it's, hey, I don't have to work as hard. I can go swim over and hang on that ball until they come rescue me. And it sounded great. Every part of me is telling me, go hang there, stop swimming. You can just rest. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hold on. If I go over there, there's no way in my state. I'd been in the water a while. I've probably been in the water, probably guessing 30 to 45 minutes. And when I saw that ball go by, and there's no way I was going to drag it that far back. Mm-hmm. So then it's, dude, just keep treading water, stay with the boat. And you let what you think could be a potential lifeline just drift away in the Pacific. So that keeps going. And you're just that never-ending fight. And now I'm starting to get more and more just pissed, just madder than I've been in any shooting, any fight, anything. I'm getting full of just rage because I know that if I don't make it, I'm going to get listed as missing at sea, and there won't be any closure for Les and the kids. Mm-hmm. They're just going to wonder what happened. They're going to find the boat eventually, but no one's going to know what happens to me. So it's just pure rage. I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to keep going. And honestly, I just kept getting madder and madder and swimming and swimming. Mm-hmm. It's not pretty. It's not eloquent. It's not anything. That's just what went into me.
Were you having signs of hypothermia at this point?
Oh, not yet. Not that I was aware of. I wasn't really focused on that much of my medical treatment. Mm-hmm. The only thing I kept focusing on is the bleeding stopping. And I had to retighten the tourniquet a couple times because it came loose. But yeah, it was just stay with the boat. And then a yacht, and I mean a first world yacht, leaving Newport. They were going out to Catalina for Buccaneer days. 2 couples on board, older couples. They are I see a white dot on the horizon. It's gradually getting closer. So it ends up actually splitting me and the boat. And they're totally focused on my boat that's just doing doing donuts in the ocean. Took them a little bit to see me behind them because I'm trying to swim back. I'm trying to splash. I'm trying to get their attention, but I'm not really swimming. I'm not thinking totally clear at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I should have just started swimming for it. But anyways, I remember splashing, and then finally one of the ladies saw me. So then they spin the boat around and come over. They threw me a life jacket. So as they idle past, and then they get me to the back of the boat, and it's a yacht, and the swim platform is a couple feet out of the water. And the two guys go to pull me up, and I'm 6'3", 210, 220 at the time. They couldn't pull me out of the water. So they flip the ladder down, and I get to climb up the ladder on my broken feet. Yeah. So I flop on the back of swim step, and I remember one of the ladies kind of starts screaming a little bit because they were pretty horrid looking.
Yeah.
And
and by the way, there's something that I don't think you mentioned. You did make an attempt at one point early on to try to get in the boat.
I tried to get in to the boat. Those ribs. It's a rigid hull inflatable boat. They have those rubber collars on the side, and there's handles for helping guys get in and out. And as it went, I tried to get in once, and I managed to get up, grab the handle, and I slammed into the side of the hull, excruciating through my feet. Couldn't hang on, let go, and then I just remember hearing the screaming of the props, the whine. And I'm like, that was stupid.
Yeah, because it almost hit you again.
Yeah, because I was within a couple feet of the props again. I didn't get hit, but thank God. So yeah, that was a bad idea. So I had to try. I was like, what can I do to control this situation? Oh, I can try to get back in. Yeah, not so easy.
Yeah. So you get up on this yacht. They're freaking out.
Yeah. Talk to the captain, and I'm like, hey, did you go over 16 and declare an emergency? He's like, oh yeah, I already did. Coast Guard and everybody's coming. I said, okay, go over 16 and request Air 5 because what we didn't talk about. When I called to check in with Jim, he said I had about 2.5 hours until Air 5 was coming overhead, and they were going to run the station I was attached to. So I knew I was kind of in that window when they should be launching. And having done this so many times, they're going to take off the Long Beach Airport, go out over the port, make a left-hand turn to the island, and take basically the same heading I was on. So the only thing when I was in the water, I'm thinking is they're just going to fly right on top of this boat doing circles. Well, the yacht found me a couple minutes early. So they heard the call and came over. And I asked the guy, now I'm starting to get into more of the medical thinking. I asked him for a blanket because I remember one of the things they teach you is hypothermia affects the clotting cascade. And I know I only have a makeshift tourniquet on one leg. And hey, give me a blanket so I start trying to warm me up because, I don't want I was bad. It's the only thing I could think of that I could really do to help myself. So they cover me up. I'm laying on the back. I'm freezing. Now I'm realizing I'm super hypothermic. I don't remember feeling cold at that point though, but I knew I was down the rabbit hole of the whole shock spectrum.
What's the water temperature roughly?
Back then, I think it was like 60s and 65 at the surface, and then
super cold.
Yeah, it's cool. 65, 68. I'd have to look at.
So you were passing on.
Yeah, no, it was cold. Yeah, it was really cold. So the Air 5 comes overhead, and they pull up and they stop at the boat because then they realize this is ours. So I don't realize it, but they're trying to figure out how many people are on board. They're working the problem like they should be. I'm thinking, get me out of here. So they're not coming in. Then I see the Coast Guard helicopter come overhead. And in our area, Coast Guard helicopters only have EMTs. And I know I'm really bad. So I told the captain of the boat, go over 16, tell Air 5, it's Casey Cheshier. I'm bad and I need to get out of here. And he goes, okay. So he did it. My good friend Kamal was the crew chief that day, and Mark DiMarteau was the lead medic. As they're dealing with it, everything kind of just goes bright gray. I can't see anymore. So I'm touching my eyes. Everything's just completely bright gray. And I'm like, oh, I hope I'm not so far down the shock that my body's now shunting blood from my eyes to my vital organs.
Oh, well, I didn't think about that.
I don't know if it could or could. That was what's going through my head.
What was it?
That's what I think happened.
Okay.
So I'm so far down the rabbit hole in shock that I'm going I'm going into decompensated shock where it's almost unrecoverable. And then I can't see anymore. And I remember feeling like the mist of the rotor wash come off, and I'm like, okay, thank God they're coming. And then Mark ends up landing right on top of me because Kamal put him on the hoist, lowered him down, put him right on top of me. Kind of feel up towards his helmet, and I'm trying to yell in his ear, hey, don't come off the hook, just hook me up and get me out of here. The hook is what we call the hoist. So I'm like, don't come off the cable. Like, stay on, just get me out of here. And he goes, absolutely not. I got to get real tourniquets on you. And I don't remember anything after that. So the next thing I remember.
Oh, and by the way, just to remind you, because this is kind of interesting, there was a concern about the helicopter because you had seat cushions that could bring that helicopter down.
So they had to abort the first approach because they completely cleared the top deck of this yacht of all its patio furniture, cushions, everything that they have on a yacht. They blew off into the Pacific. So they held up. The department, I was told, ended up replacing it all.
Good.
So they hold up, and then once it was safe, they came in and dropped Mark on me. And the next thing I know is Jim slapping me. And I'm like, dude, now I can see again now. I don't know why. It's just bizarre to me, but he's hitting me, and he's like, dude, stay awake. Pow. Asshole, that hurts. Dude, you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. I was not in my right mind. No. And so I go out again. I don't remember anything. So because they had completely destroyed the deck of this yacht with the rotor wash, they made a decision to transfer me from that yacht back to one of our boats so it's easier to do the hoist off. So the next thing I remember, I'm on a backboard and they're trying to drag me from one boat to the other in the open ocean and moving seas. And my thought was they were burying me at sea. And I'm like, I'm not dead. Now I'm trying to fight them. And I'm out of my mind. Get me off. I'm not dead. Don't bury me. And they get me onto the other boat. I pass out again. I don't remember anything. The next thing I remember, I feel the rotor wash. I look up. I see Kamal. I'm facing Mark. Jim kind of gave me a hug and slap on the back and then disappeared. And we left the deck. So I'm already hooked up into the system and we're up on the hoist going into the aircraft. And I remember looking up at Kamal and I don't remember anything. Kamal said I kind of looked up at him and smiled and then passed out. Mm-hmm. So the next thing I remember, I'm now in the back of the aircraft. And so Mark is a former Ranger. He was an 18 Delta medic. He's very good at the work. And he's old and can be grumpy at times. He really likes 4-letter words. So he's yelling at one of the other medics in the back of the aircraft, put another tourniquet on it and get me a fucking line. And I'm like, oh shit, this is bad because I'm going to get an IO. I went through all this swimming to have somebody drill into my shin bone.
Yeah, then that's not going to be.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. Or my shoulder,
and they're not going to put you to sleep for that.
Oh probably. No, you just get it. Yeah. I'm like, this is really going to be bad. And so they're yelling. Mark's yelling at the other medic, and dude, they got the line. They start giving me fluids. Got my blood pressure up. So they couldn't even get a readable blood pressure at first. The first readable they got, I think, was like 70s and 20s. I'd have to pull the report, but anyway, it was low. It was really low.
Yeah, it is low.
Yeah, like your carotid stopped flowing at 60.
Now, were they able to put like mask pants on you or anything?
No, nothing like that. They're just hauling ass, trying to get me. They're getting real tourniquets on. They're kind of packaging my feet and getting in line. And I remember Mark reaching over. They got me hooked up to the Zoll monitor and the cardiac monitor. And Mark leans down in my ear and he's like, "Hey, dude, I can't give you any pain meds. It'll kill you." Because at the time I only had morphine. We didn't have fentanyl yet. And he's like, "You're gonna have to be hard." And he used a couple other expletives. Yeah. But he's like, you're gonna have to take it. I don't care. I'm up. And then,
well, you probably in a way you have a little bit. You still have that sense of release, like, oh my gosh, they caught me,
and it's my guys.
Yeah.
So there's that comfort factor.
Sure.
I remember Kamal giving me a thumbs up, and then I remember the aircraft. They pulled the nose up to slow it down. So I remember the thing start pitching up, and I'm like, wow, I could feel the shudder. Like they were pushing this thing. Have no clue where we're landing. No clue at all. Put it down on the pad, and the engine's shut down, and now the door opens, and the pilots are now out of the aircraft, and they're being very gingerly because they don't want to rip my legs off, literally, as they're getting me out because my head was at the back. The way I came in on the hoist, I ended up with my head towards the back of the aircraft, so I'm coming out feet first. And the trauma team's there. I'm like, hey, Kamal, as we're shutting down, the door's getting ready to go, I'm like, give me your phone. I need to call Les. And he's like, dude, absolutely not. We're getting you into the hospital. And I'm like, no, dude, I got to call Les. Because going back to patrol, when I went to patrol and started getting into a lot of these crazy things, we came up with an agreement that I would always call or text her on, hey, this is what I'm going to. I'll let you know when I'm safe. Or if I can call, I will. So I'm like, she's got to hear this from me, not from you, dude. Like, I got to let her know.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, dude, I'll take care of everything. Just let's go. So Todd, one of the pilots, and we wear more combat style uniforms. He's wearing a flight suit. So he's got the Maverick type flight suit on with the, the breast pockets. And he's got, his cell phone sitting like this. So they're dragging me out, and I just reached up and went, whoop, unlock that. So I'm now half out of the aircraft. They're getting me on the gurney, and he's like, oh, okay. So I call Les, and Les doesn't answer.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So I left her a voicemail, and I still to this day haven't heard it. I know I was having a hard time.
Do you still have it, just incidentally? We're not going to play it, but
No, unfortunately,
my
phone died, and
I was having a hard time even just getting words out. I was so still in shock. Like I was down the shock spectrum pretty far. So I left a message and then handed Todd his phone back, and Kamal snatched it from me. Had another couple choice words for me because now I'm slowing them up, getting me into the trauma bay. And they took me in, and then that's where they really started working me. So I never lost. Once they got the line of the aircraft, I didn't lose consciousness anymore. They kept my blood pressure high enough. They gave me some blood in the hospital, in the ER, because I lost. I think they gave me like 2 or 3 units right there. I think I ended up getting 5 total. Was that right? 5? Yeah, I think it was 5 units overall. Because the day later, my hemoglobin wasn't right, so they gave me a couple more. But yeah, so super hypothermic. They're trying to warm me. They finally give me some fentanyl because fentanyl is a very, very good drug for this. But get it from the pharmacy. Don't get it from the cartel. Right.
Yeah. So it made you feel a little better.
Yeah, it took the edge off.
Okay.
It didn't take the pain away by any means. I cut some nerves. The nerve pain's a whole nother thing. So then I'm in there. Kamal then calls Les back on Todd's phone. She finally answers, and she was having a bad day because she's a vice president of a private jet company, and they ran a drill of a crash and didn't tell her it was a crash. So she was totally invested with this crew. Some of her friends are on the crew, and she went from thinking they all crashed to someone finally told her an hour into this thing that, oh no, this is just a drill. Didn't you know? She just got left off that part of the email.
Yeah.
So then she finally gets a call from Kamal, and she says, Kamal, why are you calling? It's bad. Either she's getting the worst phone call.
Oh my gosh.
Law enforcement or fire,
of course,
military, anybody who does a dangerous job, she's getting the worst call ever. And they hang up, and she's like, I don't know what to do. She's having the worst thoughts. And then the phone rings again, and it's a buddy of mine, Chris, he was a scout on the black team. Our kids are close, and she can hear the sirens. He's like, where are you? I'm coming to get you. And she's like, what is nobody telling me? And he's like, I don't know. I wasn't there. They're just trying to get a hold of you. I'm close. I'll come get you. I'll get you the aircraft. And then as she's like, well, the kids were on fall break because it was this time of year. So the boys were 10 and 11, I think. So she had a day planned she was going to work from home and take the kids out to, skate park, riding bicycles, whatever they're going to do. And she's like, shut your sirens off because I don't want the boys figuring this out.
Yeah.
So Chris ends up grabbing her. The boys found out because they walked in. They were late because she had this drill that she didn't know. They were late to the skate park or bike park, whatever they were doing. And they're like, well, what's wrong? And now she's lying to him. Well, he's hurt, but he's okay. He's just in the hospital. I'm going to go get him. And she's like, hey, Uncle Chris is going to come get us and take us. So they go, as they're driving again her phone rings, and now it's Todd. And Todd, the pilot that I stole the phone from.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm really sorry, Casey left you a message. She's like, what? No, he didn't. I didn't get a message from him. He's like, yeah, it was on my phone. That was the very first, that's when she realized it was the very first call.
Mm-hmm.
So then
they were nice enough to go pick her up, right? In the helicopter?
Yeah.
But there was a little
bit of drama with that. I wish they didn't tell me at the time. So Mark and Kamal are like, hey, Kamal's not going to leave my side. We've been working together for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, Mark, you take the pilots on the aircraft to go get the family. So Mark gets up and they're flying and they're ordered to turn around and not pick them up. And Mark over the radio, because they wanted the aircraft to go back to the dive scenario. And he's like, absolutely not. That's training. This is real life.
Yeah.
And Mark very eloquently with some 4-letter words over the radio told them where the aircraft was going.
Good.
So they ended up picking up Les and my parents and flying them down.
Good. But your parents lived here.
They lived close. They just moved into town from Aquadilcia.
Okay.
So
yeah, man. And then so this begins a journey for you that literally you're still dealing with a little bit, right? Or maybe
bits and pieces. I'm good enough. Like, that was me leaving the hospital 2 weeks later. And those are most of the doctors. So Dr. Kwong's on the right of your screen. Mm-hmm. He's standing with his hand on my shoulder. And then those are his residents and some of his fellows, I think. I can't see everybody, but that's part of the group that
show that other photo that's got them all standing. I think they're
I'm back to work a year later. And one of the first things we did is fly down to give them all a plaque. So if you look at the guy in the green jacket and the blue scrubs, the far right of the screen. So it took them hours and hours and hours to get me stable enough just to go to pre-op because I was so hypothermic. The last thing they told me in pre-op going to the OR was I was going to be a double amputee below the knee. That was it. At the time, I didn't care. I was happy just to be alive.
Yeah.
They take me into the OR, and Raul, I think his name is, who had the green jacket on, realizes that I'm with SEB, and that's the unit that Dr. Kwong's attached to. So he goes into Dr. Kwong's OR because he was already in the middle of another surgery and says, hey, one of the SEB guys is hurt real bad. You should probably come take a look. And he goes, well, who is it? He goes, I'll find out. So he tells him, hey, it's Casey. And he's like, I just saw him on Friday. Yeah, that was the doctor I pushed out of the way to see my friends. So,
yeah. And he was in charge of orthopedics at UCLA, right?
I didn't know I knew he worked at UCLA, but I had no clue who he is. Because I never really got invested. Mm-hmm. And it turns out he's chief of orthopedics at UCLA.
Yeah, you don't get there by accident.
Yeah,
you have to know what's up. So that's thank God for that.
Yeah, he's got patents for replacements and hip replacement. He's amazing. So,
and just incidentally, this was something that was interesting to me. The salt water, I thought, hey, salt water, you gargle with salt water, it's good for you.
No,
this isn't good.
No, it's full of microorganisms.
Okay.
So he comes over and he pushes the proverbial big button and calls in all those surgeons, vascular surgeon, all neurosurgeon, all the residents, and they basically split my body in half. Half went to one leg and half went to the other, and he just kind of quarterbacked everything. And he's like, we can always cut your legs off. We're going to reattach everything. So I come out of surgery. And that surgery was hours and hours and hours. Wake up in rehab, and I'm like, or recovery, and I'm like, oh wow, I got feet. And then I come to find out that Dr. Kwong's like, we'll cut them off later. And for the 2 weeks I was in the ICU, he kept saying, you're gonna get an infection. When you do, we'll have to take them, but we'll try everything we can up until the point you get an infection. And I did everything he planned and came up with on the long term. Ended up 2 weeks in the ICU, flying home. They flew me home. So the same person that initially ordered the aircraft not to pick my family up had then said, you will take the aircraft to and from the hospital for all your surgeries in the foreseeable future.
Nice.
Like, you don't sit in LA traffic. You just found out what LA traffic's like.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Traffic. The traffic, they've cornered the market on it here, believe me. So well, that was cool. Yeah. That's good.
So I ended up having 6 surgeries between October and December. And then it was like, hey, you're actually starting to look, you can come off the antibiotics, because I was on antibiotics 24 hours a day.
Mhm.
In the hospital, they were all IV. When I came home, I was a heavy antibiotic, and it just crushes your body.
Yeah.
For months, I was on antibiotics. And then he's like, you're done. You cleared it. Now it's just a matter of how your wounds heal. And I'd already had the small toe on my left foot amputated. That was amputated in the ICU. But the tissue on the heel of the left heel that got cut off was already starting to go necrotic and die. So they just didn't know how far. They knew it was going to get cast off, but hopefully it was going to have some tissue over my calcaneus, the heel bone, and they didn't know. So in April it came off, and you could see the calcaneus, and they're like, "You're right back into surgery tomorrow." So I was non-weight bearing for a long time, but I was in 2 surgical splints, in a wheelchair for 3 months. 3 and change. And then everything is healed up enough on my right leg. The wounds had all closed that I could go to a kneeling scooter, but I was still on 2 surgical boots, walking boots. So I was on a kneeling scooter for the rest of that year, that first year. And then as things evolved, and this is where like I needed something to push against. I needed something. I lived in this little 10-foot room. Yeah. I couldn't go upstairs to our master bedroom. Yeah. I had a bed in the office. I would go from the bed to the couch to the bathroom right here. That was my little 10-foot world. Mm-hmm. And that's where a lot of the stuff that I've been involved with, especially Emily, really started to eat at me, because I didn't have a place where I could direct my focus, and I couldn't go for a run. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't work out. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't go to, it was hard to do anything. And that's when Les and Jim and Kamal and my very close friends really started kind of putting the spurs to me to deal with what I was dealing with. I felt alone in a crowded room. I felt alone in an empty room. I just felt isolated. Yeah. I didn't want people talking to me, but I didn't want to be left alone. I can't describe like the way of, and so you're sitting here, I was sitting on a couch all day long thinking this is going to be my quality of life. It was, to go from the couch to the bathroom took me 20 minutes, and I would be completely dripping in sweat like I just worked out, because it's so hard. Mm-hmm. I couldn't reach cabinets. I couldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Having to ask kids can you get me a bottle of water and stuff like, it was just,
which of course no way they'd minded.
No, they all,
yeah, of course, everybody
liked it. But for me, it was just like, I felt useless. Yeah. And then all the stuff like Emily and some of the other stuff that I've been involved with, it was just kind of boiling over. I kind of started scratching the surface with dealing with a lot of it, but not really, because just the way it worked out, I got cleared to start doing physical therapy and start putting some pressure on my feet. And so now it's just easier to go to the gym and work out, which is actually kind of funny, because the day I got cleared to work out, or I start walking, the kids were home for the holidays. My daughter was home from school. Everybody's here at the house. Les is at work. And I'm like, yeah, fuck this. I'm out. Mm-hmm. So out the front door on my scooter, huck it in the back of the truck, do the weeble wobble up to the front door. I told the kids, hey, I'm going to the gym. And they're like, yeah, all right, bye. And then next thing you know, I'm dumping the thing in reverse, and I got a herd of kids following me down the street like dogs. So I should go to the gym, which is a mile down the street, and my phone's now just exploding because they called in Mom. I'm like, I'm not answering. So yeah. So I got a cheesy little workout in at the gym, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go down to there's a hamburger place down the street. Got a hamburger and a beer, and I'll call you back now. She was happy not.
Yeah. She had went through a lot.
Yeah.
I have no doubt.
All of
them. I no doubt. All of your whole family for sure.
Yeah. So then I made it a goal. I wanted to be back to work a year, and I ended up making it back light duty at a year. But a year and 3 months, I was back on the aircraft.
It's amazing. Number one, do you mind? Let's look at your legs. Watch it. Let's look at this real quick if we can see.
There's the 3 prop strikes on the right leg. You can see.
Yeah. We're doing this for the first time ever. But yeah, that's It looks really amazing.
On the
really
right
does.
leg, I'm missing that's the amputation site, part of the front of my foot, and then the
Wow.
heel. I don't know. They ended up. That's what's left from the flap procedure. So
Yeah. And so your department, I mean, just for you even to go back to work,
yeah,
is a miracle.
yeah. So the guys, they made me run the PT course that first day.
What?
They
Yeah,
did?
yeah, because I was going to be operational. They're like, hey, you better run it. So they did. It wasn't near my best time, but I passed.
Good.
So, yeah.
Which you got to be in pretty decent shape just to pass, I think.
It's all right.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I want to ask you.
Yeah.
There was one thing that you were asked about, and it's in your book, where they asked you to go. Well, first of all, how did this book even? Somebody came to you and they said,
yeah, Mike, who's a former PJ with the Air Force, he was a Tier 1 PJ. He was on the boat with Jim the day of the accident. He told me, hey, start keeping a journal. And I was still in the ICU. And I'm like, dude, get out of here. I'm not some little girl, 12-year-old girl writing Dear Diary. Be like, no, that ain't it. He was 100% right. I wish I'd have started sooner. I didn't treat it like a real journal. I had a laptop. I started a Word document, and I basically treated it like we would treat our trainees in patrol.
Mm-hmm.
We write what they call daily observation reports, just a DOR. And I'd write a little thing here and there, like, hey, this is what happened today, or this is what happened there. I wish I'd have started sooner, because I remember him telling me, you're not going to remember things right. And it didn't even occur to me. So I start talking to Les. She's like, that's not what happened. I'm like, I'll swear on the Bible right now that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, that's not. My memory was so tweaked from not only pain meds and all the stuff they had me on. I wish I'd have started sooner. And then it really helped me out later on. So I ended up coming back to work for a year, and then I was gonna have to have some more stem cell surgeries. I ended up having 18 surgeries that first year. 6 were all reconstruction and debridement, and then I had the follow-on 12 were all stem cells. So Dr. Kwong, when he knew that I was going to have this stuff, he went on his own to the Musculoskeletal Transplant Foundation in Edison, New Jersey, to talk to the scientists firsthand on what's the cutting edge, best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And he got me in some military trials. He went above and beyond. So he was ready once that necrotic tissue came off.
You're like a textbook case.
Oh, he's traveled
Yeah.
speaking on this.
Yeah.
It's healed up enough, but it's acting like a diabetic ulcer.
Mm-hmm.
So the hole is very small, but I have tissue over my heel. And I didn't realize until you do this, if you lose your heel pad, they amputate your foot because the tissue can't be transplanted. It's so specific to what it does. It's a shock absorber for your body. It absorbs hundreds of, like, exponential times your body weight when you jump and run. And if you lose the pad, you're going to lose your foot. So he was doing everything he could to save my heel pad. And
are you still wearing flip-flops at work when you're at the office?
Yeah, I still cruise around in them, especially when the bosses aren't around. They gave me a little bit of wiggle room on that. I don't have to as much. Things are starting to calm down finally. Nerves heal very slow.
I do want to ask you real quick too, is that the other thing I want to mention is, so somebody came to you and this book has got to be therapy for the both of you. Honestly, it gave you something, I'm guessing, right?
She won't read it ever again.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my biggest regrets is what I put the family through over the years afterwards, especially the years I was non-weight bearing. That first year after when I was non-weight bearing, and then I went back to work, and then I got pulled out again for a second year of non-weight bearing for additional surgeries. So I had, first year was 1 to 18, second year was 19 to 28.
Okay.
And then ultimately I had a 29th surgery, which is the last surgery, the flap surgery that they did that ultimately cured me.
Yeah. And you're able to wear boots though, but
yeah, I wear boots at work. I just prefer, obviously, if I cannot, I'd rather have my feet out.
Of course. It's really amazing that you're able to be in the assignment that to even be on the job. Really, honestly, it's amazing that you've been able to do that. And the other thing I want to mention before we get off of here for sure, and that is you were asked to go talk to another police officer.
So there's
was it deputy?
It was a deputy, yeah. So there's been a couple things before we get out of here, and I think that this
please.
is the biggest part.
This is whatever
This is the biggest part of the book to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mental side of what we're all going through. And I mean, we all, like people that have high stress jobs, especially first responders, whatever, or military. So I was still not on a kneeling scooter, and it was towards the end of that first year. I got a phone call from one of the guys at SCB. Hey, there's a young deputy on the department. He was riding a Harley and he got hit by a car, and he's got a similar leg injury to you. And I went, okay, give me his number. I'll call him. So it was a very fresh injury, a couple days old. He had already had a couple surgeries, 2 surgeries, I think. I called him. I'm like, well, I have to have surgery tomorrow. I'll come the day after. Mm-hmm. So that was like Monday. I think I had surgery, or no, it was whatever it was. Anyways, I go on the 3rd day. These days run together. But I show up at the hospital and he's missing his leg. And I'm like, I'm thinking, he said he had it. Like,
yeah.
What's going on? So I start talking to him, and super nice kid. He said, he had 2 surgeries. They told him it was going to take probably 7 to 10, and there was no guarantee that he'd be able to walk or run again. And he said it just hurt real bad, and so he wanted it off. And the walls started closing in around me. I couldn't wrap my head around it. My mindset was, I'll do whatever it takes to keep my feet, and I'm going to keep pushing, and I'm going to come back to work, and I'm just going to keep driving. Mm-hmm. I just wanted out of the room. And then his mom was in there. His mom asked, well, what happened to you? So now I got to tell her this whole story. And she goes, well, how many surgeries were you having? And I'm like, well, I have like 18 in a couple of days. I have a hospital-sized wound vac hanging on the handlebars of a kneeling scooter.
Yeah. With
a reservoir filling up with fluid that's getting pulled out of my leg and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm embarrassed to even tell you. I was trying to get out before they even asked, because I didn't want to take anything against them or put like any regret so I got back I got out as quick as I could. Called my buddy back. I'm like, dude, don't ever call me to do that again. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with this. Yeah. So then about months later, I get a phone call from another buddy. Hey, dude, this guy just got in a car crash, a classic car. He's got a similar leg injury to you. You go talk to him. I'm like, oh God, no. And then now I go meet John, and John's a stud. He's like, I don't care what happens. I'm coming back. I'm like, that's the mentality I want to be around. Yeah. He's my kind of friend. Yeah. So John and I start bouncing stuff off, and I'm talking to Dr. Kwong about what he's going through. He didn't have it. His was off duty, so he's dealing with private insurance. And
that's a whole nother nightmare dealing with workman's comp.
So we're meeting up and talking fairly regularly. And next thing you know, John's like, dude, I'm going back to work. Took him a long time and got drugged through the ringer, but he's back now and working a specialized unit, and he still has lingering issues like I do, but
wow.
So then fast forward a couple years, it was the crash. So my sister's birthday, my sister lives in Colorado. We go out to see my sister for her birthday. We're just checking into a hotel, me and Les and my sister and her husband, who I'm very close with. We're checking in, and one of the Air 5 pilots calls, and we're not super close. He's calling, and he knows I'm on vacation. Something's up. So I answer the phone, and he's like, Air 5 just went down. Mm-hmm. I have no info. Can you call SEB's desk and find out? And I went, oh, okay. It's my shift. My friends are on the aircraft. I took the shift off to go to Colorado. So I call the desk. Rick answers the phone. I'm like, hey, dude, it's Casey. Put the phone next to the radios and just let me listen. He's like, you got it, brother. Sets the phone down on the desk in our operations area. And I'm listening to all the radio traffic. And they're like, hey, we got 1 medic out. We got 2 medics out. They're cutting the pilots out. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I just sat there like, holy shit. I don't know if my friends are
dead or
alive, dead, what. Yeah. And I'm
I'm
like, fuck. Kamal's working. And he told me I could have a day off, and he's on the aircraft. I'm like, oh. So like all these wave of emotions are coming over you. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's my team that's on the aircraft. So then you start hearing, hey, everybody's alive. I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay. The pilots are on the first aircraft, the first other medevac getting flown out. The medics are now getting they're getting transported. So now I'm, hey, dude, Rick, thanks. Just hang up the phone. Now I'm calling Jim, who's off. And Jim's like, I'm on my way to the hospital. I'm like, well, keep me posted. They're all alive. I'm like, well, then Les goes, well, I'm going to start booking flights home. We'll go to the airport right now. Mm-hmm. Jim's like, dude, they're good. Stay there. So I'm like, dude, I think I need to go. Jim's like, absolutely not. Stay there. You're not going to do any good here. I'm telling you right now. He puts me on the phone with Kamal. He put me on the phone with Garrick. He's putting me on the phone with everybody. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to stay. Best thing ever happened to me. Everything happens for a reason. So then we stay in Denver for the night, and then we go back to my sister's house, and we're having a couple beers with some of his fire buddies. He's a former Marine. Everybody on his crew's military. And one of the dudes had a really hard time. A bunch of deployments, and he starts talking about EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprogramming. And
we've talked about it.
I didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of it. The only time we have to see one of our psychs is if you get in a shooting, or you have to ask for it. The only thing that's mandatory is if you get in a shooting. So obviously I've had to see the psychs before. Call up the psych. Well, I didn't call her up yet. He starts explaining this, what it is, how it works, basically high stress, traumatic fight or flight type things, and those kind of high stress events are stored in the primal part of your brain. By using your eyes, tracking left and right while you rework through the process, it forces your brain to go to that memory to the cognitive side, and you process it better. It's not going to take it away. It's not a magic thing. And I'm thinking, this sounds kind of hocus pocus. Like, dude, we got to start saying like kumbaya or whatever. Like, this isn't right. So I start reading on the medical stuff that we have access to. And it actually, the science behind it makes some sense. So I took it to heart what he was saying, because he was suicidal. And he's like, I don't know what this thing did to me, but I don't want to kill myself anymore. It didn't take away the bad stuff, but I'm good. And what really got me was he was talking about how he was sleeping. I slept like shit for years. I could fall asleep with the drop of a hat, but I'll wake up every 45 minutes to a minute all night long. It just every night. And then for a while after Emily's accident, I'd say 1 or 2 nights a week, I would wake up just profusely sweating through the sheets. Like I just got out of a swimming pool. Yeah. I don't ever remember having like a night terror or anything like that. I just slept horribly. When he told me that EMDR helped with sleeping, I went, okay, I want to see this, because that's something I don't want to kill myself. I was very morbid at times, but I never was suicidal. I was extremely morbid, like to the point where the family would have been better off if I died, because all I could look at it from the monetary standpoint was how much life insurance, how much the department's going to pay out, all of these things that would make the family's life better, as opposed to having a useless, crippled husband who can't do anything for himself. Yeah. That was my mindset. I never wanted to commit suicide, but I was about as close to that line as you could get. So I call up our psych, and she's like, yeah, we do that here. I'm like, how do we not know about this? Yeah, right. She's like, you have to ask. That's the policy. The only thing that's mandatory is if you discharge your weapon at somebody, you got to come talk to me before you can go back in the field. Please tell me it's still not like that. We're trying to change it. Okay. It's changing bureaucratic big government agencies. I mean, with peer-to-peer and all this other jazz that they've got on departments, you'd think that they would be. So we're dealing with it. But so I went down and did it. And it takes time. It's not like I like it because you don't have to talk about anything. You're just rethinking the stuff in your head. And lo and behold, I'm like, wow, I'm sleeping again. This is kind of cool. I'm glad you mentioned that because it's a good deal. It really is a good deal. We've talked about it on a handful of other episodes, and I think that I'm glad it helped you. Yeah, I'm glad. As a matter of fact, I'm going to mention this to the people that are listening. EMDR music. It's on YouTube, and you can listen to it for free and play it while you're sleeping at night. What it does is it just kind of helps you absorb those JPEG files. At least that's what they say. And I'll tell you what. We sleep better because we listen to that stuff all the time. It's good. And then aromatherapy helps with that. And there's also some fidget toys and stuff like that. Like Lexi Gage talked about in episode number 7, I think is what it was. This is episode number 72, ladies and gentlemen. So we've had a lot of epic people, but many people have talked about it. And she talks about those little fidget toys too they're helpful. I don't know if you did any of that. No, I didn't. But it worked for you. It worked. I started sleeping better. Everything got easier. That's great. And then so I started pushing it. And we've had some guys, step away from their career because of alcohol and other stuff. And then so we started really pushing the psych stuff through our own guys. If we're going to lead by experience, if we're supposed to be the tip of the spear for the sheriff's department, then we need to act like it, and we need to treat our guys the right way. And
Good.
the command staff's pretty on board. And then we just had 3 of our bomb techs get killed when a hand grenade went off.
Yeah.
About 70 days ago.
I know. I
Um,
was so worried that you
so-
were involved. I actually, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to text him, but I don't want.
Yeah,
I was really worried.
that one hit pretty close to home.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh lives a couple streets up. Yeah, that one was pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I got my hats off to the command staff. Non-negotiable. Everybody at the unit shall go talk to the psych. And for the first time, it was. It's actually starting to come around. Like guys are starting to. I didn't hear any bad. Nobody badmouthed it. It was just go do it.
Yeah,
Hey,
good.
You know,
There's not the stigma with it anymore.
I don't think so either.
No. It's something that we have to take care of ourselves, and we just do. Anything else?
No, my biggest regret is everything I put my family through after.
Well, dude, you were going through something that.
Horrible.
Yeah, I just for the both of you, mad respect. I tell you what, thanks for sharing your story.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you talk about somebody that's sharing everything. If they want to get this book, where would we go to get this book? You got
Amazon,
a website?
Amazon.
Just go
to Amazon.
Okay,
It's on Amazon.
and it's changed your life because you're selling. We need to sell a bunch of these books.
I don't care if I sell another book.
No, I want him to. I
No.
want you to buy these books because this book, the story
I've
is
had-
actually worth.
I've had 7 phone calls now. 3 of them were from guys that were suicidal, and the other were from 4 people that were going through their own issues, and
And you've helped
they've all gotten help. So
Good.
to me, it's not about selling a book. It's about helping.
Well,
people
no,
that-
but I want people to read it anyway.
Thank you.
I know Casey, but I want people to buy this anyway. And the reason why I do is because you need to know the story, and it's a much more deeper. I mean, he's shared 100 or an hour and 37 minutes we've been here, and he's sharing a fraction of what's in this book. Okay, so consider that. Go to Amazon, and it's Cheshier.
Yep.
All right. I just pronounced it right. I've got a little bit of a southern
spelled
twang.
a little goofy, but yeah.
So get Casey's book, or at least consider that. And it's not about the money for him, but I'm more interested in people getting a hold of this that are out there. And it doesn't have to be in the world of law enforcement. You can be in anything. Listen, I want to thank you both.
Yes.
You both for letting us
You did.
impose on your life and come into your home. And you guys have been very
Anytime.
hospitable. It's very nice. I'll tell you this much. Tina and I have had such a wonderful time here in California. I mentioned earlier that I'll be speaking in Lake Tahoe next October. And to tell you the truth, I've met some of the most epic cops out of everybody. I mean, the guys that I hung out with, holy cow, I picked the right table to hang out with.
Yes.
They're epic. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, we got to get off of here. But thank you all for being here. I've noticed that everybody has hung in there, and it has been. Hopefully, you got something out of this. I think that this was really, really something special. And I want you to go to my Detective Jason White YouTube page. Remember to like and subscribe. It takes you a fraction of a second. Feel free to go get some merchandise that's in the merch room. Check it out. Get a mouse pad. Do something. I don't know. Get a drinking glass. Matter of fact, go get a drinking glass, which those are actually really badass looking, by the way. And get one of those and make yourself a drink, and then listen to all these episodes over and over. Okay. All right. So if anybody wanted to get in touch with you later on down the line, let's say somebody, and I'm not, the world's listening here. So, I mean, I don't know if that's, how do they get a hold of, if they were in trouble or something like that?
Honestly, I'm new to this whole realm
being public.
Yeah.
Well,
The easiest way, there's an Instagram and a Facebook page under Treading Water, and I'll get back to you.
There you go.
okay. Now there you go. Follow him on Instagram. What is it? Instagram? What's it? I just followed you on
Instagram and Facebook.
All right, so I just
That's
followed
what I
him
have.
on Instagram. Go there and follow him there, and we probably ought to let you guys go. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for being here. Next week, I have no clue what we're going to put up. It's probably going to be no, actually, I do know. It's going to be one of the top 10 forensic psychologists in the world. Okay, she's written 47 books, I think. Yeah, it's big time.
I mean, I'm still writing crayon.
And this is a big time show, Casey. You have no idea. That's why you're here. But anyway,
Oh, gosh.
so ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an epic guest. This lady has known BTK for 10 years and knows him very well. and not that's just one of many serial killers. And since we're in the state full of serial killers, it'll be appropriate to for next week that we'll do that in honor of that. So, but anyway, thanks again. Seriously, buddy.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, come back and keep watching. And until then, take us out, Amanda.